Hello everyone, this is Pedro from Pythonista with one more video. Today we're gonna talk about Events Hub and Kafka, and I'm gonna do a demo in Python. So I'm gonna explain what is Events Hub, what is Kafka, very briefly. But what I'm gonna do in Python is the producer and the consumer in the Events Hub. So what is Events Hub? Events Hub is a modern big data streaming platform and event ingestion service that can be seamlessly integrated with other Azure and Microsoft services, such as Stream Analytics, Power BI, and EventBridge, along with outside services like Apache Spark. The service can process millions of events per second with low latency. The data sent to the Event Hub's instance can be transformed and stored by using any real-time analytics provider or batching or storage adapter. So basically, what's under the hood of an Events Hub? It's a Kafka cluster. I'm gonna open here a diagram, and that's gonna explain a little bit better. So basically, Events Hub is what you're gonna create here. And when you create an Events Hub, you create like topics, so in partitions, and what you send to the event in real time are events. So, and who produces the events obviously are producers that are sent. Can be a Kafka or a message protocol or events protocol, AMQP, HTTPS that goes, and those events in real time get stored. And every partition, can you see those things? It arrives in order, and those events stay in the partition. And then the partition can be consumed by lots of consumer groups. And then in real time, in a events-based application, that stream of events go through. And the application for that are many. So if you wanted to do a events-based architecture, like a fraud detection system real time, if you want to do live dashboards in Power BI, so, and then if you have like IoT devices monitoring telemetry, and you'd like to send that data and be consumed by dashboards, pipelines, and whatever process you have in your company. So Events Hub is fit for this. So let's get started then. So I've created like a script here that I will make available in my GitHub. So basically the first step is let's sign into Azure Portal and create an Event Hub. So I have a link to a tutorial on how to do it, but I'm gonna do for you step by step. So I'm here in my Azure account. So I go to create resource and you do Events Hub. And then with the Event Hub, you create Event Hub, and then I'm just gonna use my subscription. I'm gonna do in a new resource group because at the end I'm gonna delete everything because this is just a demo. So I'm just gonna call Event Hub Lab. I think that's okay. And then the namespace, it's a unique name. I'm just gonna put my name and IO at the end. So I'll do it in Australia. And the pricing tier, you can choose basic. For this demo, you should use standard or above because I'm gonna do a demo using the confluent-kafka library, and then it only works if it's a standard or above. Throughput units 1 is fine. And that's pretty much it. Review and create. Now it's deploying. So yeah, it's deploying. So while deploying is in progress, you should take like less than a minute. Let's create our requirements, the Python package that we're going to install. So let's create a file called requirements.txt, and then in this file just add those two packages that we're going to use for our demo. For our first demo with Events Hub library, Azure SDK, Python SDK. The next step is just let's create like a Python virtual environment. So I'll do now. So it's created. Don't need that. And let's activate that environment. Activate it. Yeah, Python 3.11. So now let's install upgrade pip. And also let's install the requirements in the environment. Cool. I've already done. It's all cached. Done. So let's see if that is already created. Yeah, it's created. Just go to the resource. In the resource, you go to event, add an event hub. So in the what I created is a namespace, like a service, but I can create as many hub as I want. So in Kafka terminology, this is called like a topic. Be anything. Let's call it my topic. And the cleanup policy is delete. So one thing that you can do, you can kind of, because this event, when it sends to the event hub, to the topic, it's gonna last for 1 hour. But if you wanna have a retention policy, you can do that later, but you can do in the creation. I'm just gonna show you how to do it. So you have to have a Azure storage account. So I'm gonna select one of my accounts. I'm gonna select this one. I'm just gonna create a new container called Events Hub. I think it's gonna be fine. I'll create that and this one, and then select. And that's pretty much it. And then that's gonna be probably how it's gonna be saved. For example, my namespace, the topic, and my year, day, hour, and minute, something like that. And that's pretty much it. Review and create. It's validated, and then I'm gonna create. So while it's creating the hub, which will take a few seconds, we're gonna go back to our Visual Studio Code. And then create a producer.py file. So I'm just gonna go producer.py, and then I'm just gonna copy and paste the code that I have from Azure tutorial. So that's the one, and you have to change the event hub name to the name that I've just created. So let's see if because my my screen is too big now, so it's called my topic. So that's the it's called my topic, and the event hub connection string is on the hub. I'll show you where it is. So I go back to the namespace. So overview, it's in shared access policies, and then root management. You can add specifically, but I'm just for demonstration purpose use my root one, because I'm gonna in the end delete. Just get this connection string primary key here, just copy, can get any one of those. I'm just gonna get the first one, then go back to your Python script, and then you just replace that. This is from a dry run that I did earlier today. So that's done. And then I think it's pretty much it. So just looking quickly at your code or at your codes, we importing async IO because we are using one of the IO library here. Just import at the top, like put the configuration, create a function called run, which instantiate the producer with the connection strings, and then start the producer, and then create a batch, and then add some events to the batch and dispatch all the batches, and then run the async process. That's pretty much it. So the consumer is a little bit more involved because what it does, it saves the checkpoint where consume the consume of the events are in the process. If I go here in the overview, so when I start consuming, and then let's say that my application crashes, I need to know where I stopped. Otherwise, I have to go and read from the start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a producer at the beginning, and then as I'm reading the events or consume the events, I'm just gonna checkpoint, and I send this checkpoint to a Azure Blob Storage. So I'm just gonna do it now. Again, I'm just gonna copy and paste from the previous dry run that I've done, and in addition to the endpoints of the Events Hub here, I also will need my storage account. Let's find the container, and the container was Events Hub. Easy. Just gonna copy this name here and then put here, and the connection string of my account is access keys is the connection string show. I'm gonna cut this part. I'm just gonna copy here. Done. And Events Hub, my topic, it's the same. I think we are good to go. And the code's a little bit more involved. You have to create like a function called onEvent, which is a callback to the blob checkpoint store when you call the method receive. Can you see that you have to pause a callable here? And then I'm saying start from position -1, which is the first one in the topic. And then as I receive the event, I'm gonna, usually you do something with the event. You can send to another service, you can send to your data lake, you can stream your application, you can send to another topic, you can do whatever you want. You can send to a queue. And in this case, what I'm doing here, I'm just on these callback, there are two parameters, the partition context that you can get some metadata of the partition, and also the event object, which in this case we are just outputting as a string and then printing out the console. That's pretty much it. To configure the client, what I'm gonna change here, instead of using the default, I'm gonna create another consumer group. Let me just go back to my event hub, my topic. I think I have consumer groups. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it Azure. Yeah, I can call anything. So, and then I'm just gonna copy this and go back to my code and then call it Azure. So everything else is all good. My topic. So I'm gonna try to start the consumer first and then do the producer later, and then you can see them in action. I'm just gonna maximize this, clean the console. I'm gonna split that into two shells. So let me just, it's a bit big here. I'm just trying to minimize that space here. Clean that, clean that. So, and then let's see what I have here. Yeah, this is gonna be the consumer Python consumer. Make sure that I have my virtual environment activated and being activate. Yeah, it's all good. So let's start it. So Python. If I did everything correctly, that should work. And that, so there is no event loop. I think I do the, let's do the producer first. Python producer. Yeah, good. So can you see now? Let's try to go to the producer and let's do a loop here for I in range. Let's put like 100 events, and then I'm just gonna do an f string event I. Let's see. Close that one and maximize that. So let's send 10 events. Let's see. There we go. It's just like non-stop sending 10 events, 100 events. Can you see how fast it is? I'll send another 100 and just streaming data. So what's happening here is I'm sending data here to the partitions, and the consumer just like real time are consuming it. If I go here on the here on my Events Hub, I can see some telemetry of my hub. Let me just click here, my topic. Can you see that all the events that I sent? So how many messages I sent? 15. This is how much I sent. So on the right now. So is that the default? Let's put the Azure. Yeah, messages. It's showing here 3 messages. I think I sent more than that. Yeah, now it's coming through. Can you see 203? Because I sent 3 and then I sent 200 more. So that's how many messages I sent ingoing and outgoing. So it's already been consumed. So, and then you get the throughput of what's saying. So that's the demo of the using the Azure SDK here. I'm just using that library here. I'm not going to use another library, which is the Events Hub Kafka. So that's to demonstrate that Events Hub is a Kafka cluster. And then you can use any Kafka library, any language to use Events Hub. So it is a Kafka cluster. So the library that I'm going to use is the confluent-kafka. So it's a little bit more involved. So let's go step by step what we need to do. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stop those process here because I've already demonstrated. I'm gonna start a new terminal session here. And then I'm gonna, on my script here, I'm gonna create, it's a little bit more involved, will take a little bit more time. So I'm gonna create a new folder called confluent. And then on that folder, I'm gonna create, before that, let's go back to our Azure and create another topic called Kafka topic. Let's create another one called Kafka topic. And this time I'm not going to capture anything. So before that, I need to remember to show you how it's saved. There's one thing that I forgot to show you, how it looks like the events that got retained in my storage account. If you remember when I created Events Hub. So because in the Kafka it's very ephemeral, like just after 1 hour, my configuration, everything gets deleted. But if you set up retention, it saves in the Azure storage account all the events in Ava format by, I think it is by minute, every minute. So, and then it saves here. So I just want to show you because I forgot to show it before. It's saved as a default Avro format, which is a very efficient format to write, but you can also save in Parquet if you like. Yeah, Kafka topic is created. And then I'm also gonna create a consumer group on that one with a different name. So I'm gonna call it consumer group. I'm gonna call it Kafka consumer group. I'm gonna just use this name that I wrote here so I can follow the tutorial as I wrote. Yeah. So now in this folder, let's create a Python file called same producer.py. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste from, and then I don't need to write the code. So, and then what I'm going to change here is my endpoint, which is the same as here. My Bootstrap server is my namespace, which you can get from overview and then host name. And then it's on port 9093. So the SSL certificate, because I'm using Ubuntu, that's where it's stored. And the topic and the consumer group in this script, you're gonna pass as a parameter that's captured here as an argument. So argument 1 and 2. So that's pretty much it to the producer. I'm just gonna create now the consumer. So that's it. And the configuration is pretty much the same with a little bit more things. That one there is this. That's already all right. Endpoint. I'm just gonna delete that because that's from a previous run. And then I'm just gonna copy that one there. AUI. So I'm just gonna double check. Yeah. Cool. I think I've got everything I need. Now I'm gonna split the screen here. Maximize that thing. And I'm just gonna, I need to do a setup here before that I just remembered. I'm just gonna make sure that I have my virtual environment activated in both. Yeah, and then I have to create another file called setup dot sh, which is a bash script, and the script is here in the script for my talk. It is here. Just gonna copy that. I've already done on my computer. I'm gonna do again, just to demonstrate to you guys. Hopefully everything goes well. People, I'm just gonna check my pip if it's correct. Yeah, I'm on the right environment. I'm just gonna now have to cd into Confluent. That's the directory where things are. And before I run the script, I'm just gonna do a source and then run this setup.sh. And I have to put my Linux password that I think I remember. And I think that's it. Yeah, it's done. So now it's just like cloning and installing a few things. Good. Finished. I think now I'm ready to go. I have all the bolts here, but the difference is I'm just gonna do a Python consumer, and then on the consumer I need to pass some parameters. I'm just gonna put here on the readme, you have to pass the consumer group and the topic. So if I go back here, the topic event hub is Kafka topic. This one. Sorry, consumer group is first. So consumer group is Kafka consumer group. And then Kafka topic. Hopefully everything works. Fingers crossed if I done everything correctly. So there, yeah, I think there is not a partition. I think there is not, it's underscore. I made a mistake here, so it should work now. Yeah, it's now listening. So let's start the producer. So this script, I think it sends 100 items. So producer.py, and then it's gonna be Kafka underscore topic. So fingers crossed, 1, 2, 3. So can you see I sent 10 events? You see that it looks like this one is a bit faster than the Azure one. So let's go to the producer. I think let's send like 100 events. Just trying to find it. Yeah, it's here. I'm sending 11. Let's say 100 and see how it looks. So I'm just sending 100 events, and then bang, it's like really fast, really fast. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Before I forget, you can just go to Azure and just destroy your resource group. So in this case, I'll do that later, but just gonna do that for you guys. So I'm just gonna delete, and with that, everything's gonna be deleted. Event Hub lab, and then delete. It's all gone, and I'll make sure that I gonna rotate my storage keys, and you don't mess up with my stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, like the video, click the bell, and thanks for watching. See you next time.